Yes, the two of you had a baby when you were 16 and you were 30.
She needs to go to jail, man. At this point, she needs to go to jail.
Yes.
You are 22 years old.
Yes, I am.
You had the oldest one when you were 16. Well,
Yes.
you didn't have it, but
Yeah, she had.
she had.
We had.
Yes, the two of you had a baby when you were 16 and you were 30.
What? 16 and a 30-year-old? Man, in this new day and age, that's a pedophile, man. That person is going to be jailed. She's going to go to jail in this new age and the way things are running now, because that's not an excusable thing. It was not legal to be an adult, and you had a kid with him.
So let me start there. How does a 30-year-old get interested in a 15-year-old?
Not purposely, but it happened.
I've had a lot of 15-year-old boys through my house. I have a lot of sons. They weren't interesting at 15. What did you find interesting about her? Him?
He was very mature. He was educated, and he was really funny.
When you
And-
say he was educated, wasn't he still in high school?
He was. But he could keep a good conversation. It wasn't like talking to a little kid where you can't stay focused. And
How long were you with him before you discovered his age?
maybe a few months.
Did you lie to her about your age?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
She knew he was young, she knew he was a kid, and she was still attracted to him. She needs to go to jail, man. At this point, she needs to go to jail.
No, I didn't. I never lied about my age. Never have.
Did you ever had conversations
didn't
about
even
what he
talk
did
about-
in life and all this kind of stuff? I mean, didn't algebra come up?
No math. No math. And we didn't have a discussion about ages, like right off.
I really didn't care.
But did you have a discussion about life? Like what a 15-year-old does on a daily is go from one class to another, goes home to mom, gets fussed at because his room isn't clean?
No.
You guys didn't. What did you talk about?
We talked about mostly me because I was on a rebound from a bad relationship. And so we talked about that. We talked about my children that I had. And mostly about just our life period, what we were doing at that time.
Okay.
Nothing long term.
All right. So you got married. You already had one child. You had another child. Now you're looking for a divorce. What has gone wrong?
His addiction to porn is one of the main reasons because I didn't know that coming in.
Now let me ask you this. When you say a porn addiction, does he just like porn and you just don't like that he likes porn? Or has porn taken on such a large segment of his life that it's begun to impede on his ability to conduct business? Because that's what an addiction is.
It's an addiction to the point where he's sneaking and doing it. Then he's pleasuring himself.
Well, and typically,
This is the age, man. The guy is just growing up. He's in his early 20s. This is the age where they do that and explore. This is the age. Newsflash, you met a man that is not fully matured. You met a boy that is growing into a man, and you are wondering why you are noticing the signs of this guy's growth. That's just what's happening here.
one watches porn. Well, it's a solo activity, and the pleasure happens. That's kind of the whole purpose of it. So it's not that he has an addiction so much, it's that he's doing it and you don't like it.
I actually don't have, I would be willing to watch it with him. I told him as a couple to keep things open and where we could try to connect on that level, I would watch it with him.
And his response was,
I don't feel comfortable.
Mr. Lewis, do you believe you have an addiction to pornography?
A little bit. A little bit I do.
And when you say addiction, what do you mean? How often do you engage in looking at porn?
I say probably
Every
like
time.
maybe twice a week, maybe.
Oh, twice a week is not that bad. It's not that bad. That's totally redeemable.
Something like
I
that, I
think
guess.
we misuse the term
The
addiction too
addiction,
much.
true.
We throw it around. It's like anything that I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to it. You like porn and you watch it a couple of times a week. I don't call that addiction. I call that a habit.
That's a habit, not an addiction.
You know what I mean? It's something that you do, which is something that you enjoy. And an addiction is something that grows to an extent that it takes over your life and you can't function normally because you engage in it so much. So let's not call it an addiction. So, do you believe he's cheating on you at all?
I'm not sure because I don't trust him. He lie a lot.
Okay. Give me an example of something that has indicated to you that he may not be faithful.
At his job, he was working at a plant.
Right?
And he had this woman who I thought was okay at first. She was looking out for him, but then she wanted to start buying him food. Then she's picking him up from the bus stop. He has her personal number, and I don't believe it was just a call to say, hey, I'm going to be late, because when you're somewhere brand new, how in the world after 2 days is this woman going out of her way to do all of this stuff for you?
Was one of your coworkers doing a whole lot of giving you a whole lot of extra care and niceties?
No, Your Honor, she wasn't. Let me tell you something. Actually, I think it was maybe like our first or second day on the job, and we was going to a different site. And she said, well, there's no vending machines here, so here, while we at this vending machine, get you something to eat, because there's no vending machines or where we're going. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a lunch, and I didn't have any money, so she just took it upon herself, to give me a couple dollars, so I can just get something to eat.
That happened more than once.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, a little food out of the vending machine. It's not like you're taking him to Wolfgang Puck's or something.
He has a wife. I make lunches for him, the kind of lunches that people get jealous over because they're lobster tails, they're this and that and the other.
You make him lobster tails for lunch?
Yes, ma'am. I make him lobster tails. He has steaks. He has pasta that I make.
Yes, I do.
Sauces that I make from scratch.
So
there was no reason why.
Let her talk, man. I understand you enjoy the lunch so much, but don't talk over the lady. She's your wife. She's older, but give her the respect as your older wife. But just let her talk.
I got you. Anything other than the co-worker in the vending machine, because it's pretty light so far.
No, we had an incident we were having a conversation in the kitchen. And I was talking to him because I think he's a little friendly with women. And so I asked him, I'm like, what kind of women is it that you're talking to? Do you talk to the not so attractive women, or, do you spread yourself around? Oh, no. He only talks to attractive women. So to me, if you're not including all women, you basing it down to a specific type. And it's friendly.
Did you actually tell your wife you only talk to attractive women?
No, not in those words. No, not in those words.
What words? No, hang on. What words did you use?
I said, yes, I do. Yes, I do talk to women. I mean, because they're my coworkers. I'm not talking. I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking to them trying to get with them. I'm talking to them on a work level. It's not a.
But you didn't mention what they looked like at all. Did you go home and tell your wife there's a new good-looking chick on the job that I got to show what's going on?
No, I did not tell her.
It's amazing that she's saying that the guy actually told her that he has a type that he chats with. For him to tell her that, or for her to come to court and say that, means that he actually did. He said not in those words, but he didn't specifically say the words he used, which means he actually did tell her that. And that just shows the childishness in him, because he's still a kid. He doesn't even know how to watch his words when he's talking to his wife. There are some things you don't tell your wife, even if it's true. You just kind of have to not say it out loud, because it doesn't sound right. No matter how you mask it, it doesn't sound right when you're telling your wife that.
We've been talking about you for a while, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk. Why don't you tell me why you think the two of you are here in divorce court today?
Well, first off, just like how she said, she don't trust me, and I have lied about, porn and all that other type of stuff or whatever, but it has not affected, my bedroom, or, it hasn't affected.
You taking care of business with her, even though you taking care of business with yourself?
Yeah.
No.
Now, Ms. No?
No.
You disagree with that assessment?
I disagree, whatever.
You disagree?
Let me tell you something. She has.
The fact that she disagrees, what's the problem? Let us know.
These so-called pajama panties or whatever that, she has, pajama underwear, And so, she says, when she put those on, that means she wants to give me some. I go and, lay down or whatever and, try to rub her up, get her in the mood.
Be careful.
And so, I go and, try to get a little action. Just like, well, what the heck then?
We're hoping that it doesn't overspill because of his age. That's why the judge was giving him hints. Don't say too much. Don't say more than you can actually say.
So if you trying to get me, son, you got these underwear on. Like, what am I supposed to do then?
Ms. Doss, do you contend that there is not as much affection and romance as you would otherwise like?
No, and I know a lot of it have to do with me because of my distrust for him. And then I don't feel the connection we used to have. I feel like if you lie about something, he'll lie about anything. So I'm not as open with him as I used to be. And so we lacking in that area.
And the lies that he's told, and I understand how that makes you withdraw, but are they just about the porn and the co-workers, or have you caught him in other substantial lies?
Not too long ago, there was a text message, and I didn't understand. It was a female, and I'm like, I don't know, who are you? Who are you, trying to get in contact with? And so she says, oh, I must have the wrong number. Once I said, me and my husband don't know you. And so a few days ago, I get a pocket dial voicemail. And the same female that takes the phone accidentally, that's who he was laughing and joking in the background with. And so he got to be the world's unluckiest man or coincidence.
To pocket dial your wife while you over there chatting it up with some other woman. Mr. Lewis, did that occur? What happened?
Dialed her. I guess the girl was talking. She was talking like she was making. Basically, we was all making jokes and about a trainee, and so the trainee works down the street from where we live, and I go.
Yeah, you're taking me around. Mr. Lewis, you tell very long stories.
Stuff like that don't just fall out the sky and happen. And it doesn't just happen.
Well, I didn't hear anything suspect in the conversation.
But I didn't.
No, it was at his job. But the whole point is he said he didn't know a person by this name while she texting the phone. But you have a coworker with the exact same name.
I understand what you're telling me. I get it. Ms. Doss, you say that Mr. Lewis has a terrible temper. Why don't you tell me about that?
He has a tendency to get upset and leave. He won't answer any calls, any texts. He'll leave while it's light outside and come back, a few hours later.
What kind of things do you argue about?
We disagree about the children. We disagree about bill. We disagree pretty much about everything. It'd be little minor things, but he'll get really angry if I point out certain things about him, like, oh, you're yelling.
Give me an example of an argument that occurred that you thought was way out of proportion to the problem that you were trying to address.
I left and went to the movies, and I didn't answer his calls or texts like he do to me. What he did was sat at home and had a tantrum and tore up my things. One of the things was something he got for me, but why would you get mad and tear up my stuff? When you do things like that, I don't touch his things.
Did you get angry and tear up her stuff?
Yes, I did.
Because she wouldn't answer the phone?
Not because she wouldn't answer the phone, because she hung up on my face as soon as she heard my voice, and all I wanted to do was ask her if she had my card or not. Because I came from work and I was getting a ride home, and so I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can stop at the movies or something like that, but really didn't want to. Just got off work, sweaty, dirty, didn't want to. I text her. I said, do you have my card or whatever? She didn't text back. So then I call her again. I call her, and then she just forwarded me the voicemail, and then
I was at the movies.
So then that's when I called her again. She picked up the phone. I said hello in a nice, calm voice, wasn't yelling, angry, or anything. I said, do you know where I said hello, and she said hello and click. And I'm like, dang, and that's when
Were you mad at him?
I threw my phone.
You were mad at him. So he okay. Now, Mr. Lewis, let me ask you this. Were the kids home with you?
Yes.
And you went on a tantrum and tore up her stuff when the kids were in the house?
Yes.
How tacky is that? I know you're only 22, but
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. I will admit that's very tacky or whatever. You know, I didn't mean to. I did apologize to her for that. You know, because I didn't mean to tear up her stuff or whatever. It's just that when she hung up on me, as soon as she heard my voice, didn't want to hear me out, didn't want to answer my question or anything like that, I threw my phone.
Ms. Doss, I have to tag you with a little immaturity as well. How much sense does it make to get angry and not talk to somebody and go to the movies and not answer the text? All you know that's going to inspire anger and response. It's not going to resolve any issue. It's not going to serve any purpose other than to make the other person angry as well. Wasn't that a rather immature way to handle whatever displeasure you were experiencing?
I can admit and say yes, it was, but at the same time, when we're getting into it, I'm usually the one to be quiet. He's usually the one to be
Shut down.
voiced. Yes,
Put
that
brick walls up.
I can shut down because we have children, and I don't have to go back and
I'm not a
forth with you.
child.
See, you didn't let me finish my.
See the argument. This is the problem with when the person you are with is not as mature as you are, especially when it's a guy. You know, guys, they kind of like get matured later in their 20s, not even in their early 20s. They tend to understand their emotions more later in their 20s, and this is the problem. The lady understands her tone, you know, when she's arguing with him, and even when she's kind of like being mellow, he doesn't understand why she's being mellow. He said she shuts down, and she's saying that the reason why she does that is so that the children will not experience their fight, and he can't take that far, that he is supposed to also tone down in his character and make sure that their fight doesn't escalate to the point where the children are concerned or are being aware of them actually having issues. That's the issue here. He's too young for that. He's too young for this kind of depth in a relationship. And I'll blame her because she was the older one when she met him when he was just 15. This is the ripple effect of that kind of relationship. Meeting somebody so young that the person is not mature enough, and you engage him and you guys go on to have a long-term relationship. This is the ripple effect of that.
That's not what she said. She said she shuts down because you have children, so that children aren't exposed to chaos and anger and arguing. That's what she's saying. Okay? You got to pay attention, people. You got to listen to one another. I don't think either one of you really got that down quite yet. But let me tell you what we need to do. Dawes, you're seeking money for damages that you say he caused to a door. Tell me about what happened and what happened to the door.
He was storming, getting ready to come in there, and I pushed the door shut, and he punched a hole in it.
He was storming, getting ready to come in there.
Come in the room. I went in the bedroom because it's our bedroom door.
And you were arguing?
Yes.
And he followed you in there. You shut the door, and he put a hole in the door.
Yes,
I understand. We have a picture of that. Mr. Lewis,
Yes,
did you in fact put that hole in the door?
I surely did, but not purposely. First off, we were having a discussion. And so I was in the middle of talking, and she slammed the door in my face. Me, I didn't mean to do that. I just pushed the door, you know, I pushed the door.
I'm
I didn't
not a
punch in,
forensic
ball fist
specialist or
or
anything, but that
like
doesn't look like a push. That looks like a fist went into that door.
No,
That doesn't look like that.
I did not punch the door whatsoever. If you come to our house and see that door is very, very light.
So you want $200 because you know you have to fix the door so you can get your security deposit back. And I'm going to discuss that in a moment. Before I do that, I'm going to say this. You should know better than to date children.
I'm so happy that Georgeline chastised her and talked to her about this. It is very, very important that this is not condoned. This is an underage child. This guy was not up to 18 when he started dating him. This is a kid. He was a teenager. She was already twice his age. And this escalated. So yes, address it. Let people learn from this. It is not acceptable, nowhere, shape, or form.
Because children are children, and he may be mature and for his age, but when you date a child, this is what you get. And he's not mature enough to handle a family and a wife. He hasn't got it together enough. That's why he gets angry all the time. He's watching porn. He's doing what a 22-year-old does, because 22-year-olds aren't mature enough to have that kind of family and responsibility, and that's what you get. And you have to remember, if you're going to dip down into the kiddie zone, you got to be prepared to raise him a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't You can't get in the sandbox with him and not answer the phone and all those calls. You have to show up super mature because you have to guide him in a way that will allow him to deal with your children in a manner that a man needs to deal with them, not a little boy. So, ain't nothing free. 16 is probably cute and works well and all that kind of stuff, but it comes with issues. And this is the issue that it comes with. Mr. Lewis, once you decide you get married, once you decide you have children, your days of being childish are over. You may be 22, but you don't have the right to behave like a 22-year-old. You most certainly do not have the right to crack the foundation of those children's lives by making them live in a chaotic household. You better step up, man up. If you cannot stop getting angry, you remove yourself from the household because that is not appropriate. Grow up. Get a clue. You bought this on yourself. However, you will get $200 in favor of Mrs. Doss. It is so ordered.
Simple, sealed, and signed. This is just the truth. The guy was too young to enter into that marriage. And I've said it before, so I don't want to repeat myself and reiterate that this lady just took advantage of this guy and now he's in too deep to get out of it because he already has 2 kids. Like you said, he can't afford to be a kid again. He can't afford to live like a 22-year-old. And clearly, the whole thing that he's doing is because he's trying to fill in some void that it was not there. He's trying to fill in a space to which he wish he had. And that's why he's just misbehaving. The whole habit of pornography and everything that he's facing is a void that he's trying to fill in. And that's because he's not getting it in the marriage. He's now in too deep to get out of it. So it's a sad thing, really. And it's something that I just, wish the man can grow up. But he can't grow up. Time needs to play its course in this whole relationship. He needs to age and understand things from experience, not just because he's there. So it's just what it is. Tell me what you think about this whole case. I'll go by the name East Coast Prince. This is East Coast Talks, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.